Hey, you've decided to return for some more funny. The Vault of Silliness thanks you for your patronage. A dumb birthday game from September 17th, 1994 graces the airwaves today with the title of What's in a Name? The players: Lisa in Topsfield, Charlie from Webster, Carol in Lynn, George from South Braintree, Walter in Revere, my old pal Brian McKinley producing and playing in studio, and Jack Harte. The birthdays: Roddy McDowell, Anne Bancroft, John Ritter, David Souter, Paul Benedict, Warren Berger, George Blanda, and Dorothy Louden. Event: what year was the U.S. Constitution completed and signed? Episode 202, What's in a Name? Introduces its way to your ears in 3, 2, and 1.
Laughing on the Norm Nathan program.
No, this is a serious program, for heaven's sakes.
That's right. Let's talk about President Clinton, shall we?
That's right. Well, that's right. Nobody's ever thought of doing that before. Maybe we can talk about the invasion to come, perhaps, of Haiti. Okay, let me introduce. We had a whole panel full of exciting people. Well, whole panel. Let's find out whether they are exciting or not. I think that would be good. We have Lisa in Topsfield, who's played the game with us before.
I know.
Have you ever won?
Yes, I have.
So you know that the worthless, the tacky prizes that we give away then?
Yeah, matter of fact, I sold it once.
You sold it?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
On the black market.
Yeah, I can imagine anybody buying that stuff, but you must have some tacky, worthless friends. Okay, let's go to Charlie's in the town of Webster out near Worcester. How you doing, Charlie?
Hey, hi, Norm.
Hi, this is not your first crack at the game, is it?
No, it's not. Yeah, it sure is.
Oh, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Okay. Okay, well, you'll find the adrenaline will be flowing, and you'll be having such a good time. You won't be able to stop talking about the game probably for months and years to come. Well, maybe for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Hey, we have Carol, who's in Lynn. Hi, Carol.
Hi, how are you, sweetie?
Are you sucking up to me? Is that what you're doing?
Norman?
What's that, please?
Is this the manly Norman?
Who is this speaking?
Carol.
Oh, Carol, you sound like you get two voices.
I have allergies and colds.
Oh, because
And you sort of turn me on so my voice gets husky.
oh, is that what? Do I turn you on? Honestly,
Yeah. Yes.
oh, I'm getting excited just at the thought of
I'm moving to Middleton.
that. I have to have some. I have to have a room.
We'll find room.
Yeah, because my kids have moved out. Therefore, I've got their rooms. I promised them if they're thinking of coming back home again, their rooms will be rented. Anyway, because you're not that far away, you're in Lynn.
True.
Okay.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Wait a minute. Let me write that down. Hops. That's a good way to describe it, isn't it? That's picturesque speech. I think I'll send that to Reader's Digest. Maybe pick up $5. Okay, we have George, who's in South Braintree.
I think I'm closer than she is.
Well, I don't know, not to where I live.
Huh?
And even if you were, I'm not interested in you, so knock it
I'll
off,
be 81
George.
a month from today.
Is there is a South Braintree? There's a Braintree, is there not? South Braintree is not.
Well, no, it's the same. It's the Braintree, South Braintree, East Braintree, you know?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's toward Holbrook.
I didn't know whether or not you thought he was kind of fancier
no,
living there.
On the Connie Chung show earlier tonight, they mentioned something about a white buffalo. Did you ever hear that? Yeah. I was surprised nobody brought that up.
Is that like a chocolate mousse?
Huh?
You've said chocolate mousse and a white buffalo.
Oh, buffalo. No, that's true. I'm not kidding.
No, there is a what? No, I did read something about a white buffalo.
Okay.
But I'm glad you brought that up because that kind of just brought everything to a total halt. Did you notice that?
Might have
Okay.
would bring it up before this.
Walter in Revere. Hello, Walter.
Hi, Norm. Pleasure to be on the show.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. This is your first crack at it, too, is it not?
Yep, it is, sure is.
Okay. Do you understand that if you do win, that is if you come the closest to the correct ages of all these people we're going to mention who were born in the state, you win something that's totally nothing.
That's okay.
And again, what we ask you to do is not return it to us because we have no use for it either.
That's why we're getting rid of it.
That's right. Otherwise, why would we give it? You think I'm going to give you something that I want myself? Are you mad? Thank you. That was acting. And of course, we have Brian McKinley, who you heard, who's a producer who will be with us playing the game. And also we have the very lovely and exciting Jack Harte. Hello.
Jack.
Hello, Jack. It's nice to have you playing the game. And of course, you've done it so often that you're the old pro, and you have always done extremely well.
Well, thank you very much. You know, Norm, just quickly, earlier in the evening, you were talking about your experience on Monday night, and you know, I didn't have an opportunity to say that I was only joking when I said I was disgusted. Fact of the matter is, I thought that everyone, including yourself, was absolutely. Well, there were a couple of people up there who weren't quite that funny, but you were. You were certainly not amongst that crowd.
I told him.
I appreciate that. No, I was just what I was doing was.
But he looked cute.
I looked adorable. Yeah, I was reaching out for a compliment. Yeah. No, because a lot. Well, people are wondering what we're talking about. It was the thing at the Comedy Connection, and I've never stood up on stage at a comedy club. How many people would you say? 500 people? Were there that many, do you think?
Oh, let me think. There were about 24 to a table across, and there had to be at least 12 tables across, so there would have been 288, and then in the back there, close to 500.
Yeah, okay. I love your mind really, you know, for a guy who's a romantic and a guy who's a funny guy, you're also very technical the way you figured that out.
You got to be quick. You got to be quick.
That's right. That's how you figure out like a bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Oh, sure, absolutely. We just look at the expressway and say, well, let me see, there's 4 cars across town, that was south.
You know an easy way to count that?
Uh-huh.
You know an easy way to count those people?
How's that?
Count their feet and divide by 2.
Toes and divide by 10.
That's right. That would be even better, wouldn't it? Have everybody take off your shoes and socks. Let's see. That's how many toes is that?
I just hope you have a cold that day.
Yeah. Oh, this is getting kind of silly. But anyway, it was just to finish this thing off, and we'll never mention it again. Well, I may mention it again a lot. But anyway, it was to raise funds for a place called Lifehouse, which is in Dorchester, and is for homeless people and all that. And they did raise quite a bit, so a lot of broadcasters were there. And anyway, it was exciting. I'd like to do it again now that. But I've never been so frightened in my entire life. Fortunately,
Stop kidding.
Yeah, I mean it's good when
you didn't look it.
You only saw one line, I think. Did you watch it on TV?
Right.
Well, the only line they used was my
cool,
opening.
Calm and collected.
Well, I know that, but that's because I happen to be a great actor.
I see.
I was underneath it. I was scared to death, but I'm an actor, so I don't look scared. I'm not a comedian, so I don't look funny either, but I don't know what any of that means. Anyway, we're all set to play the dumb birthday game, and that is really what I care about at this moment. The heck with what's going on in the past. Let old people reminisce. We don't reminisce. We care about today and tomorrow because we're kids, right?
Roll.
Okay. Today's the birthday of Roddy McDowell.
Oh.
He was won a Tony Award for supporting actor in The Fighting Cock in 1960. Oh, God, let me get through this. And is known by early moviegoers for Lassie Come Home. And they was the movie version of that, 1943. Pay close attention now to these dates because they tip you off as to how old he is. And let's see. How Green Was My Valley and Planet of the Apes in 1968. And also starred in Fright Night and Overboard. He was born in London, England, so you remember him as kind of a thin guy with a British accent. A thin guy with a British accent. How old would he be if he were a thin guy with a British accent?
And if he was fat with a German accent, would that be a whole different thing?
That would be a whole thing. He'd be a lot older. Mm-hmm. Fat guys with German accents are always very old. Thin guys with British accents always appear to be young, but you can't tell. Even though he was in, when I say he was in that movie in 1943, Lassie Come Home in 1943. Okay, we'll start with you, Lisa. What do you think?
Let's say 72.
72. Okay. Charlie?
Oh, Roddy McDowell in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, he was in that. Yep.
He
was also in an industrial slide film called The Romance of Steel Ingots.
Never heard of it.
No, that didn't get too broad a distribution.
Roddy McDowell. How about 61?
How about 61? We certainly will mark that down, and soon enough, Charlie, we'll know whether or not that is the correct answer. That's what makes this game just so darn exciting.
That's right.
Because we don't know. We just don't know. Carol, what do you think?
63.
Do I still turn you on? What do you think, huh?
Definitely do.
Wow. Boy. Even if I don't, just as long as you say that, that's all I really care about. I don't care if you lie.
Have I ever lied to you, Norman? Never.
Yes, you lied to me once in the Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, when we went away for the weekend in 1971, and twice in our vacation in Findlay, Ohio. And I don't forget these things, fella. Okay. George from, not Braintree, but South Braintree.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that kind of a noise? Roddy McDowell, how old do you think he
How
is?
about 78?
78. We'll mark that down and put it up on the big scoreboard and find out in a few minutes how close you are. Walter.
Try 80.
80. Boy, he's getting older by the minute, isn't he? I'm afraid to ask you, Brian. You're going to say he's dead. He died at
Actually, I was gonna
96.
say, who is Roddy McDowell? No. The only thing I remember him for is Planet of the Apes. So,
Okay, so you remember what he looks like, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say 68.
68. Okay. And they're very lovely and exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Harte.
Well, thank you very much. And of course, all the guest spots on your various Quinn Martin productions. Let's see, 67.
67. Okay, just one question. First of all, about traffic people like you.
Uh-huh.
Do most of them use their own names when they're on, like on WBZ? Because they all have really great show business names.
Well,
Even you do, like Jack Harte. You know, that's a name people would take if their name like were Marshall Berkowitz. They would become Jack Harte. That would be the, and all of the traffic people have those names. I know they do different names when they're on different stations and stuff. They're not fooling us.
Uh-huh. Well, some of them are just born that way. Some of them take them. Of course, many people are hired on their name alone. But no, for the most part, the names, especially on BZ, for the most part, we do use our own names there. But yeah, we pretty much use our own names.
Because I was listening to like some of the traffic people we have here at BZ. Can you mention some of their names?
Oh, sure. Let me see. We've got Rich Kirkland. That's a good, strong name. Lou Ambrosino, who used to use different names.
Yeah, Lou Ambrosino. Okay, now that sounds like a real name. See?
Sure. But that's his fake name. His real name is John Smith.
Yeah, that's right. He wanted to be more ethnic, so it could appeal to our ethnic viewers.
Like Geraldo Rivera, sure.
That's right.
Let's see, Joe Stapleton.
See, that's a perfect radio name. That's a made-up name.
Sure, yeah.
But that's his real name?
That's his real name, absolutely. His parents were in the paper fastener, or his ancestors were in the paper fastener business. Victoria Provo, she's going to be doing a news show by herself. They're going to call it Victoria Provo Lone.
That's a wonderful play on words.
I think you'll have Wayne Schofield in here after me. That's a beautiful stage name.
Then you have Jeff, somebody in the morning.
Jeff Brown once in a while.
Yeah, that's his real name, Jeff Brown.
Jeff Brown, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been seen lately with Lonnie Anderson. Aaron Sawyer.
Wait a minute, there's a joke there, and I don't know what it is.
Actually, the woman that the man that Lonnie Anderson has been seeing lately is also Jeff Brown.
Oh, I see. I've lost track of her romantic interests. And you mustn't do that if you're in this business. You must be on top of things.
Yes. You got Ken Newman. That's a good radio name.
Ken Newman, yes.
Rob Floyd.
Floyd, yeah.
Absolutely. Oftentimes known as Pretty Boy.
Yeah.
Who else have we got that comes on here? Oh, just a whole host of us.
But they're all real names of these people.
Well, those are Victoria Provolone. Well, we wonder about that.
Oh, I know she has another name when she's on another station, as you do, too.
Mm-hmm,
I shouldn't be saying this, should I? that's kind of a secret.
Like I said, I don't think that anybody is really too terribly fooled.
I know. It'd be like if I had about 3 or 4 different names that appeared on different stations. Anyway, you're wondering about Roddy McDowell, how old he is, aren't you? Did you forget that we were working on that? Okay.
What's his real name?
Roddy McDowell's real name is Norm Nathan. But I took it first. Actually, that is because it's not my real name.
I see.
I told you my real name is Henry Fonda. But those seem to have been taken, and so there's no point to that. In fact, they used to call me Lassie, was my nickname, and that was taken too. Anyway, the answer, Roddy McDowell, is actually 66. And so Jack Harte said 67. Brian was close with 68. So I would say that Jack Harte walks away with that one, just 1 year off. Excellent work. Good deal. Just for that, you earn yourself a new name. And that name is
Ish Kabibble.
Ish Kabibble would be very good. Wonder how many people listening know who we're talking about when we talk Ish Kabibble.
Kay Kaiser.
That's right. He did the novelty songs with Kay Kaiser.
He actually died about 6 months ago.
Oh, then you can take the name.
Yeah,
Sure.
There you go.
Just call him Ish.
That's right. You think that was probably what's his real name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anne Bancroft, born Anna Marie. Speaking of real names, Anne Marie Luisa Italiano, which is a beautiful name. She changed it to Anne Bancroft. She won an Oscar in 1962 for The Miracle Worker. She was nominated in 1967 for The Graduate. Remember that one? She was driving Dustin Hoffman crazy in The Graduate. She was the older woman. And also appeared in Agnes of God and Point of No Return. She's been married to Mel Brooks since 1964. That's 30 years they've been married. Isn't that something? Can you imagine being married to Mel Brooks for 30 years? I would think she'd be going crazy.
That must be fun.
Except she's got a great sense of humor herself. I've seen... They were also together in... what was that? To Be or Not to Be. Remember that about the movie, the theater group during Nazi Germany?
Hitler in Springtime or something to that effect was the play they were trying to put on a lousy play so that...
No. That was the producers.
Oh.
That was a Mel Brooks production, too. That's right. That was Mel Brooks. But no, this was To Be or Not to Be. They were a husband and wife team in the movie, and it's trying to escape from the Nazis and stuff. Anyway, Anne Bancroft. We'll start with you, Jack. How old do you think Anne Bancroft is anyway?
And today, let's see. I've seen her and Mel Brooks sing Sweet Georgia Brown in Polish.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Jak się masz?
Could that have been from To Be or Not to Be?
I don't know, but I saw them do it. There used to be an English series that used to have, like, comedians come out and just do, like, an hour taking questions and doing bits. And at one point, he dragged her out of the audience, and they sang Sweet Georgia Brown in Polish.
I think they did do that in that movie. Yeah. I believe so.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. She was in a movie, The Slender Thread, about 1962. Actually, 1967.
Because she was in The Miracle Worker and won an Oscar for that in 1962.
Let me see. She was only about 35 in 67, which is...
So there were 500 of her.
Yes.
Well, she has 500 feet. So that you divide that in half.
Yeah.
And then you get 732 toes.
All on 1 foot.
Right.
Let's see. She's got to be... 62.
62. Okay. Do you realize it took you so long to answer? And we've got 750 more guesses to do, and 900 people on a panel. That means that there are 600 people in the club. And therefore, the trains would crash about the time that they all met together in Peoria, Illinois.
And you're the bus driver.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Brian, how old do you think Anne Bancroft is?
Oh, Anne Bancroft.
Oh, this is going to be a long session.
I know, sorry. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. 63.
63. Okay. And Walter?
Go with 60.
Walter's going with 60. What are you going with, George?
67.
67. And Carol?
67 also.
67 also for Carol. And Charlie?
No long shot, Norm. I don't know. How about 69?
All right, we'll mark that down. And what do you think, Lisa?
I'm going to go with Jack and say 62.
62. Okay, you should have gone with Brian because he hit it right on the button.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 63, but
Wow.
Jack was very, very close. Okay, so Brian has won one and Jack has won one. How about John Ritter? Let me see what I can tell you about him that you don't already know. He was born Jonathan Ritter. I guess that wasn't much of a change. His father was, of course, Tex Ritter, the cowboy star. Let's see. He appeared in TV's Three's Company, Three's a Crowd. Was that a TV show too? Three's a Crowd?
Yeah, after after the other two, well, the only remaining girl and the alternate left, they did another show where he got married.
Oh,
And the father was a pest.
okay. Who's the father? Was it anybody we know?
Oh, you'd know him if you saw him. White-haired guy, tall fella, kind of thing.
Oh, that's
right.
yeah. No, that's one of the traffic guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Stapleton, I believe.
Yeah, tall fella.
He went into traffic reporting business after that.
Yeah, he played a father in a series before he was a track reporter.
That's right. Yeah, that was his springboard to success. Anyway, he was also in Hooperman. I guess that was a TV series, wasn't it? A show, Hearts of Fire, and in a film satirizing TV called Stay Tuned. Huh. Anyway, his dad was the late cowboy movie actor, as I mentioned, Tex Ritter. So that's John Ritter. And let's see, why don't we start with you, Carol?
I'd say 44.
Carol would say 44. And that's just so darn nice the way you said that.
Thank you, sweetie.
You know something? I think I'm just wildly in love. And it feels just so good. I haven't been this wildly in love for about 58 years, I think was the last time. Anyway, Walter, what do you think?
Try 48.
48 says Walter. And Lisa?
45.
Lisa says 45. Okay, Jack?
Also known as the poor man's Beau Bridges.
Really, why is that? I never heard.
Well, because he sort of plays like the parts in the lower budget movies and things like that you would normally see, like Beau Bridges is sort of like Jess White is sort of your poor man's Phil Silvers.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's true. That sounds right. I never thought of it that way. But then again, I never thought of a lot of things anyway. In fact, I never really thought very much. I just found it slowed me down. You think too much, my mother would say. Norman, you think too much? Guys shouldn't go to college, only girls.
Let's see, 46.
Okay, and Brian?
43.
43. Okay, let's see. Charlie, what do you think?
47.
Okay, and how old do you think John Ritter is, George?
I'm going to say 54.
54. Okay, John Ritter is 46. So Jack Harte hit that one right on the button. And Charlie came very close. He said 47. And a lot of you were and Lisa said 45, just a year the other way. But Jack hit it right on the button, and now has 2 correct answers to Brian's 1. Okay, very good, Jack.
Thank you very much.
Son of a gun. Let's see, how about David Souter from New Hampshire, although he was born in Massachusetts. Justice, now been named Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. He just was named within the past few months, remember?
Mm-hmm.
David Souter, Judge David Souter, Justice of the Supreme Court. That'd be a nice title, wouldn't it? Justice Nathan of the United States Supreme Court. Thank you, but I don't think I can be appointed. I don't think the Congress would vote for me because I happen to have a very active sexual life. That wouldn't be bad either. Neither one being true. Anyway, David Souter, before I say too much, let me ask you, George, how old do you think
I don't remember that fall very well. I'm going to say 61.
61.
Yeah,
Okay.
I may be way off.
You may be, but then again, you may be very close. Lisa, what do you think?
52.
52. Okay, Brian?
I'm going to say 57.
57. Okay, and Charlie?
Boy, I gotta take a long shot at this one. Sounds like an old guy that offers money to young girls. I don't know. Let's go way out. 74.
74. Okay, and Walter?
67.
67 says Walter. And Carol, the lovely and beautiful Carol says
Thank you, my dear. 65.
65. Okay, and what do you think, Jack?
Yeah, David Souter. He did change his name from David Gigolo. Son of a gun, I was going to say 52.
You still want to say 52?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Actually, his age is 55.
Oh.
55. Let's see. I think
Let's see.
Brian comes the closest.
Yeah.
Brian says 57, so he's just 2 years off.
I had no idea who he was. I don't have any idea. I just made a wild guess.
What do you get down from me?
You said like a 95 or something.
No.
I'm sorry. This is
George.
Oh, George. You said 61.
Okay.
Yeah, none of you were very far off except Charlie said 74.
Oh, it was Charlie who said
Yeah,
something.
Charlie.
Okay.
Charlie was 19 years off. But what the heck is 19 years?
Who's counting?
No, the idea is that we just appointed the Supreme Court, and they wouldn't pick a 74-year-old guy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You never know.
Well, you never know. That's quite true. Also, Paul Benedict, who I think is a funny character. He's an actor from Silver City, New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
He played he was on the Jefferson. Remember the guy with the funny face?
The neighbor.
Yeah, that's right. They describe him, or he played Harry Bentley. He described here as the long-faced Englishman on the Jefferson. What's that?
I said, oh, that dude.
That's the dude.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, man, that's cool. Cool dude. I always thought he was it's a very funny. All you have to do is say hello, and he'd have me laughing. There's something about his face that. Anyway, he also appeared in The Freshman with Marlon Brando. That was a movie that lasted about 4 minutes, I think. I think they stopped the movie and sold candy or something and figured the heck with it. That didn't last very long at all. But anyway, that's Paul Benedict.
He also ran a theater company in Boston for a number of years.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Son of a gun, Paul Benedict. Paul Benedict. I don't know why I keep repeating his name like that.
Some Paul Benedict.
Paul Benedict. I thought if I keep repeating it, that'll give you a better chance of
Is that
guessing
the
his
fellow
age.
that was married to a colored girl?
No, that was another character. I don't know what his name is.
Okay.
I know the one you mean.
Yeah.
No, Paul Benedict was not married in the series. He was a neighbor, came down and always said funny things.
Long-winded story.
Okay.
He lived across the way.
He lived across the way.
The other ones lived upstairs.
You know all that stuff. That's pretty good. Okay, let's start with you, Lisa. How old do you think he is?
He's probably about 49.
49. Okay, Charlie?
I was going to go around 56.
56. Okay, Carol?
59.
What do you think, George?
48.
And Walter?
Let's try 55.
We'll try 55. And if the shoe fits, thank you. Where? We'll put it on his nose. Now, that doesn't make any sense at all, does it? Brian wasn't even funny. See, that because
Nope.
no reaction there from anybody either way. Brian, what do you think?
I would have to say he's 58.
58. Okay, and Jack?
60.
Jack says 60. Okay. You know, Charlie hit it right on the button.
Wow.
56. 56. And Walter was very close. He said 55. And a lot of the rest of you were not that far off either. Except Marshall Quitkin. And you don't even know who Marshall Quitkin is, but he's playing the game at home, and I get vibrations. So I know he guessed 81.
How's he doing?
I don't know how he's doing, but I know how I'm doing. That's really rotten. Warren Berger, talking about the Supreme Court, former Chief Justice Warren Berger. He was appointed to the... Pardon me?
What's Warren, was he in a pickle? Berger?
No, he's not. No. What do you mean by that, fella? There's nothing like a guy pulling a little joke, a play on words, and then somebody saying, what do you mean by that? I sound like my own relatives.
You get used to it after a while.
No, I've got relatives like that stare at you. What do you mean, man? Well, you see, pickle, burger, see? He's got nice buns, get it? That's sort of tied in all together, He's in a
cheesy joke.
Cheesy joke, yeah. What do you mean by that, Paul? Okay, anyway, former Chief Justice Warren Berger, born in St. Paul, Minnesota, was appointed to the court in 1969 by President Nixon. He served for 17 years, all of them as Chief Justice, and he stepped down in 1986. Okay. Hold on while I just rattle some papers in your ear. And so that's former Chief Justice Warren Berger. I didn't realize, that's right, he was Chief Justice the whole time, all 17 years. That ought to get him a pretty good job now. That's a good thing to put on your application. Mm-hmm. But do you think you're overqualified coming in here and wanting to be a shoe salesman? They cried. Anyway, let's start with you, Jack. Warren Berger.
Warren Berger.
A Warren Burger. I'd like a barbecued Warren Burger. That's really more stupid than yours.
Some bacon and tomatoes, yeah. Let's see. I must admit that was kind of humorous.
Oh, that was a good one. That was.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
You relished that one, huh? Yeah. Let's see. Any relation to Hamilton Berger from the Perry Mason?
Yes.
Let's see. He has got to be what you call 78.
78. Okay, Brian?
I'll have to say he's 74.
Okay, and Walter?
I'll go with the high 85.
85. Okay. George?
78.
78, same as what Jack said.
Yeah.
Okay, Carol?
79.
79. Okay, Charlie?
That was Stuberger? Oh, Warren Berger. 81.
Well, so do you think he went through his entire life and still gets jokes like that made up? Lisa?
77.
77. Okay. He's actually 87. So we have another person breaking into the winning column, and that's the very lovely and exciting Walter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So we have, we have Jack Hart's got 2, and Brian has 2, and Walter and Charlie both have 1 apiece. George Blanda, you remember George Blanda? He was born September 17th also.
Isn't his brother Waring Blanda?
Yes, exactly. Oh, jeez. Okay, let me tell you about George Blanda. Quarterback, spent 26 years as an active pro football player. Jeez. Boy, his brains must be coming out of his left ear. Imagine getting banged around in that for 26 years. He scored a record 2,002 points. Let's see, this may be a clue. When he was 43, he won 4 games and tied one for the Raiders with last-minute passing and kicking heroics when he was 43 and lasted 26 years as an active player. He didn't just step aside and become a coach. He actively played all that time. Okay, let's see. We'll start with you, Carol. How old do you think George Blanda?
53.
53. Okay, and let's see, Walter?
60.
60?
60.
Okay, 660. And Lisa?
67.
67. And Jack?
64.
64. Okay, George, what do you think?
61. 61.
61. And Charlie?
66.
And Brian?
58.
58. You didn't sound too sure of yourself.
No, I didn't.
No.
I was guessing. I think I'm guessing way too low.
Okay, actually you are, because George Blanda is 67 years old today, which is what Lisa said. Did you know that, or was that a guess?
I kind of knew it.
Well, that's good. No, there's nothing wrong with knowing that. That's okay. Where were you with the other 6 guesses? Okay.
I was close in some of them.
No, you were very close, as a matter of fact. Okay, so Lisa, Charlie, and Walter have one apiece. And here's the very last one. Oh, I know it. Okay, Dorothy Louden. This is maybe a little tougher. She was born in Boston. She starred in Annie on Broadway. She was the woman who ran the orphanage with the tough character in one of the productions. But Annie has been around, and there have been so many different casts that you might not know that. But she won a Tony in 1977 for her role in Annie as Miss Hannigan. She also used to make records, so she's quite a good singer. She was a pop singer back a few years. I can't think of anything well-known that she recorded, but a very decent, almost a cabaret kind of singer. And then went into the theater, and then anyway, she was Miss Hannigan, 1977, winning a Tony for her role there in the show Annie. The sun will come out tomorrow. That all, great show. My youngest daughter, who was here earlier tonight, saw that. I mean, she fell in love with that show when it first opened, and must have seen it about 8 times. Isn't that an interesting story? I'd like to come across these human interest stories and just relate them to you while you go, oh, yeah, oh, gee. Okay, we'll start. Let's see. Let's start with Brian. We'll start with you this time.
You would start. Jeez. 57.
57. Okay. And Lisa?
64.
64. Okay. Carol?
66.
66. And Charlie?
That was 64 was my guess. Could I guess that too now?
Oh, sure.
Okay, 64.
Sure. Okay, any numbers you want. Even if somebody's already guessed it, doesn't matter.
Okay.
George, what do you think?
Put me on the board of saying 45. Let's get that number 1 up there for me.
Oh, you want to say 45?
Yeah.
Okay. Jack?
57.
57, same as what Brian said, eh? Okay, and Walter?
67.
67. Okay, Dorothy Louden is actually 61 years old today. Let me see who comes the closest. I think 64 seems to be. Let's see, that's within 3 years. My goodness, this requires some math. No, I guess 64 is the closest. Yeah, from 61, that's only 3 years off, and the next closest, 57, would have been 4 years off. Okay, so the winners there, Lisa
Boonga.
and Charlie.
Wow.
So that means we have a 4-way tie. Brian, Jack, Lisa, and Charlie. That's the exciting. This exciting thing about this game is you feel like you've lost totally when you can come from behind, and that's why America's playing it. And that's why we're making it both a board and a computer game.
No dates or obscure celebrities that we could do.
Well, we should have something as a tiebreaker. Yes, I tell you what.
Obscure celebrities. Who were the last 3 people? That was pretty obscure to me.
Okay, I tell you what. I'll give you an event, and you tell me the year this happened. And this is one that I think is particularly interesting. The U.S. Constitution, that's not the boat, but the Constitution itself, was completed and signed by a majority of delegates attending the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. It was signed by representatives from 12 states, including George Washington, chairman of the Constitutional Convention. The original is displayed in the National Archives in Washington, D.C., in a bulletproof display case filled with helium and water vapor to preserve it by maintaining proper humidity. Isn't that something for the U.S. Constitution to still be in existence, the original one? Today, as a result of this being the time the U.S. Constitution was completed and signed, is Citizenship Day. Did you know that? Today is Citizenship Day, September 17th?
What do you know?
I don't know quite how to observe that. We ought to observe that in some kind of way.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how.
Well, we all ought to go out and spout out the names of presidents and things.
Yeah, maybe take a George Washington look-alike to lunch. That would be kind of nice. We can
I'm
do
going to
that.
wear my powdered wig when I come back this afternoon.
I think that's only fair.
Uh-huh. But, you see all the trouble they go through to preserve this piece of paper from all those years ago. Now, if they had been smart like the cavemen, they would have painted it on the wall of a cave.
They didn't know back then.
See,
I mean, they thought we've got new things like paper. They didn't have paper then, but they didn't realize that paper didn't last very long unless you play around with it like they do with it.
Should have tested it.
Well, now, of course, they do paint stuff back on caves again.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because I did see, I think it was President Clinton, as a matter of fact, was out there in a cave painting stuff.
A recent edict.
Okay, well, now that we've got milked that one for really hilarious laughs, Lisa, we'll start with you. What year was that the U.S. Constitution was completed? Remember, not long ago we had an anniversary of the Constitution, and it was a whole year. It was honored with all kinds of activities in many communities. In fact, I was on our local committee in the little town I live in to pay homage to the U.S. Constitution on its anniversary date. Okay, so what date was that? What year was that, Lisa?
Good question. Only thing I can think of is 1776.
1776. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and Charlie, what year would you say?
Gosh, history. Ooh,
You sound like you're in pain.
been a long time out of school. I like that, and we can't go with the same date.
Oh, sure you can.
Unless you're the guy that called earlier whose date left them the prom.
Oh, 17, oh, yeah, 1776. It sounds good to me.
Okay. Carol, what do you think?
1886.
1886. So we didn't have any Constitution during the Civil War, which is no wonder they drove Abraham Lincoln to drink. He said, "I don't know what I can do with you. We don't even have a U.S. Constitution." Okay, George, what do you say?
1858.
1850. Okay, just in time for the Civil War then. Okay, but not too soon for the War of 1812. Okay, Walter, what do you think?
July 4th, 1776.
You say 1770. You haven't said that's the spirit, Jack, at all.
I did. Yeah,
Oh, you did. Yeah, you already
Oh, you did. I missed that. Sorry, I missed that.
Say it again, Jack.
That's the spirit, yeah.
Okay. Brian, what do you think? What year was that?
Oh, I don't know. Geez, would it be 1776 by any chance?
Well, we'll put you down for 1776. And if we have any other orders, we'll try to move it up a little bit. Jack, what do you think?
1943 then? 1789.
1789. Okay, let's see. The year actually was 1787.
Ooh. Jack.
Yeah. 1776 was the Declaration of Independence. Yeah.
Hey, if I wanted to think, I'd go back to school, okay?
And that was on July 4th, anyway.
Didn't I say 1786?
Yeah, this Carol. Yeah, that's right. You said 1886.
Are you sure? Let's have a record.
No, I've got it. No, I got. Yeah, remember I said there was no. As a result, there was no Constitution during the Civil War.
Lapse?
Oh, I see. Oh, sure. No, that means that
you
Jack.
remember 1886, is that right?
Yeah, Jack said 1789. So Jack has squeaked by.
He was there.
Yes, I was.
That's the winner of the.
Did
Standing
they
there.
have traffic back then, Jack?
Yes, they did. Horses and buggies and just wreaking havoc down there in Pennsylvania.
except for my uncle, who was a bartender at a tavern. So I do that old joke. A tavern on the Lexington Green. He was the man who poured the shot heard around the world. Wow. Okay, I want to thank all of you for playing this swell game with us and for bringing in some excitement and fun and certainly a large dose of education. Pardon me? Is somebody losing their teeth? Or
I'm not sure it was teeth that they were losing.
Okay. Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Norm. It was fun.
You did okay.
All right.
You just overshadowed her, Jack, in the last moment, and that's why you're a true champion.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Norm. It was fun, too.
Okay, enjoyed having you, and I enjoyed having you too, Carol. You know that. God knows you know that.
I'm going to take a history lesson.
You don't need to do that. You've already won me over.
Oh, bless you,
You sweet,
my
wonderful thing. Take care, Carol. And thank you, George.
I couldn't get on the board, could I?
I mean, look, no, I guess you couldn't. But Carol couldn't get on the board either. So you're in pretty good company. Take care, George.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, and thank you to Walter. I think that was the teeth clicking. That was Walter hanging up. Okay, and Jack, of course, always a pleasure.
Well, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. And we'll hear your report coming up in a few minutes. So we're kind of excited about that.
Yeah, I got to go check my traffic balloon.
That's right. You can tell how many cars by counting the tires and then dividing by 4.
Yes. Oh. Or counting the spark plugs and divided by the number of, depending on the type of engine it is.
When you get out of here.
Okay.
Take care. And of course, Brian, always a great pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And I imagine it's kind of exciting for you to be here at WBZ Broadcast City.
It is exciting.
72-story building.
70.
With some of the most exciting shops and everything you'll find anywhere. Have you been up to the WBZ Hall of Fame?
Actually, no, I haven't. But, this is a great studio. We're on the 70, what floor are we on?
This is the 68th floor.
68, and we get a view of a wall. Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to look out when the windows are kind of dirty. But we're right across from the WBZ Farm and Food Store, which is kind of exciting. And why don't I just shut up? Anyway, thanks.
You're welcome. Some inside info for you here. Brian McKinley and I met in college and hosted back-to-back radio shows on the college station. One day, I may horrify you all by playing clips from those days gone by. Halloween is next month, after all. We've gained a nice bucket of subscribers this month. Thank you. Keep doing all those like, subscribe, and share things, and check out the links below regarding supporting the show. Closing the vault and leaving this world a little sillier than we found it. 4. Selling tacky, worthless non-birthday game prizes on the black market. Allergies and colds. Turn-ons. Rooms for rent. A hop, skip, and a jump. Reader's Digest. The White Buffalo and the Chocolate Mousse. Looking adorable and reaching for compliments. The Comedy Connection. Lifehouse in Dorchester, Mass. The Fighting Cock. Lassie. Green Valleys, Planets, and Apes. Thin Guys with British Accents. Industrial Films. Quinn Martin Productions. Show Business Names. Marshall Berkowitz. Henry Lassie Fonda. Ishkabibble. Sweet Georgia Brown. In Polish. Tex and John Ritter. Springboards to Success. Thinking Too Much Slows You Down. Long-Faced Englishman. Getting Vibrations from Marshall Quipkin. Last-minute passing and kicking heroics. Helium, water vapor, powdered wigs, and cave paintings. Pouring the shot heard round the world. Checking one's traffic balloon. WBZ Broadcast City, WBZ Hall of Fame, WBZ's Farm and Food Store. Brian McKinley, the funny, romantic Jack Harte, and the man briefly considered for the Supreme Court, Justice Norm Nathan. I'm Tony Nesbitt.